Hey, listeners. Welcome to Straight Wife Trans Life. I'm Lisa, and happy Pride Month. Pride Month started yesterday, and almost immediately, people started posting their support for the LGBTQ plus community, and I love it. Now more than ever, the LGBTQ plus community needs allies in their corner. So how does one stay an ally after festivities and the month of June? I'm going to give you some ideas. Even before my spouse came out as transgender, I have been an ally to the LGBTQ plus community, or at least I thought I was. I showed up to events, I enjoyed gay bars with a gay roommate, and I always tried to smile and make eye contact with people. But after my spouse came out, I realized there was a lot more to it, and things look different from the other side. From the, oh, we are actually part of this community side. So let's start with what people who are in the LGBTQ plus community consider allyship. The Harvard Business Review has done research about this, and I'll add the link to the episode details. So they interviewed 109 people who identify as LGBTQ plus individuals and asked what it meant to them to be a good ally. The result was that there are 3 components to being a good ally. 1, being accepting. 2, taking action. And 3, having humility. And this was a really interesting article about the research, and I want to read a paragraph from it. This is verbatim. The experiment's results reveal 2 important lessons about how the components of allyship operate. First, the fact that taking action had a muted impact on allyship unless acceptance was high tells us that being accepting is the essential first step to becoming an ally. Taking action when your beliefs are still biased against LGBTQ plus people will have limited impact on your allyship level. Second, the fact that the person high in both acceptance and action was rated as the best ally indicates that solely being accepting is not enough to maximize your level of allyship. So, to put it plainly, the 3 components work together, and I want to give you an example from my own situation. The first family we told basically shrugged their shoulders and said, "This doesn't change anything for us." And it hasn't. Our kids just finished the school year together, and we went out to eat together and celebrate. They are dream allies and dream friends. On the other side of that, I have another friend, and our kids have known each other longer. They've known each other since they were in preschool. They played together, and there were lots of gatherings. After my spouse came out, the play dates dwindled. The birthday party invitations stopped. There was a subtle but unspoken and obvious shift. And I still join my friend for coffee, but there isn't that high level of acceptance. And that's okay. It's a bummer, but I also have to understand that she isn't ready to be accepting and might never be. So acceptance, taking action, and humility definitely have different levels. Now that you have this in the back of your mind, and assuming that you are accepting and not trying to change anyone or look down upon someone for being different, what can you do to be a better ally? Well, here comes the take action part. And these aren't in any particular order. Pay attention to anti-LGBTQ plus bills that are being introduced and make sure you vote against them so they don't become law. In general, make sure you vote in every election. I'll include a link to anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, and I know it's not always fun to follow what's happening in the world or our country. I know that I've had to take a step back because it's draining, but being aware is important. Another action is if someone says something offensive about an LGBTQ plus person, call them out. "Hey, Karen, I have friends in the community, and that's actually not true." And then you have to back it up with a fact or experience. I know speaking up can be difficult depending on who you are around, so use your best judgment, but also remember that you can make a difference. I have mentioned my childhood friend before, but she never put up with behavior she didn't like, and I admire that. We are still friends, but she's called me out, and I didn't even know that I was being offensive. So sometimes people need to hear that they are being offensive or doing something, that they aren't aware of, so they can stop and think. And hopefully they realize that, yeah, I should be more careful with my words or actions. And if someone isn't open to hearing you, then maybe they're not the friend material or they make better acquaintances. Another action is show your allyship. And we are seeing that now with flags and shirts and buttons. And, I have an ally shirt in the rotation. And I mentioned this in a previous episode that we were outside of our comfort zone in Indiana last year when we were traveling for the first time together as a family post-disclosure. And we saw lots of houses with pride flags, and it immediately made me feel more at ease. So a flag, a little button, a sticker, a shirt, it can really put someone at ease. Ironically, we don't fly a flag, but that's only because everyone on our street knows our situation, and it feels like we would be overdoing it. Okay, so pay attention to pronouns. If you hear someone addressing themselves as he or him or they or them, refer to them that way too. And in that same sense, make sure you don't accidentally out someone. Maybe you know something about a situation that others don't, so follow somebody's lead or ask them how they would like to be addressed. Don't worry too much if you mess up. Just do your best and try again next time. Next, let's touch on action with donations. A lot of companies jump on Pride Month appearing to be supportive but might not have good intentions. So do your due diligence. Your money might not be going where you think it is. Instead, consider donating to worthy causes that really focus on LGBTQ+ issues like the Trevor Project, PFLAG, GLAAD, Lambda Legal, the Williams Institute, and your local LGBTQ+ resource centers. They could really use your help, and your money will go a lot farther there. And I'll include links and articles about places that you can donate if that's something that you want to think about. Next, educate yourself. Please don't be afraid to pick up a book at the library about LGBTQ+ history, or sign up for a newsletter, or volunteer with an LGBTQ+ organization. Learning more about the LGBTQ+ community will make you a more confident ally. And that's something that I've been doing myself since my spouse came out. I sort of fallen into learning about it as I go, and I feel like I'm more confident in supporting the community. And while we're on that topic, maybe get to know your LGBTQ+ coworkers or neighbors better. They won't bite, and I know my spouse would love it if there was less awkwardness around her and more of a vibe of, meh, just another human. People do want to share their experiences, so take a moment and ask. You will gain a better idea of what's happening from someone else's perspective. So those are a few ideas of how you can carry on showing your support even after Pride Month ends. But until next time, do enjoy Pride Month. Go out there, find a march or a festival, support your community, and remember acceptance, taking action, and maintaining humility this month and year-round. Thank you for being an ally.